it's Holly and Maria King, and we are back with the Emblem Knights rough draft. Yeah. For a second there, I was super excited because I was like, oh, I'm reading the final draft. This is going to be awesome. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm further in the rough draft than I am the final draft. Not saying that I'm completely disappointed, but I'm slightly disappointed. But let's just jump in and get started, shall we? Chapter 18, The Survivors. What do you think you're doing? Ray asked when he saw the group walking quickly to Daisuke. Daisuke found a survivor and asked if we'd bring them food, Alex said impatiently. And you didn't run this by me before you go to the horses? Because, Ray asked. How about you reprimand us after we find out if the survivor is still alive or not, Yuri said, pushing past Ray and ushering John to bring the horses along. The group found Daisuke and Roy sitting by a thin woman with 3 kids. Their faces were all pale, and you could tell that they hadn't had a meal for quite some time. Move aside, John told his friends. I'll examine them. Just heal them, Roy said irritably. There's no point in wasting our food. I spelled it like a waste. What's wrong with you? Yuri shouted. All the men jumped. These people aren't objects you can just magically make better, and John isn't just a tool to be used. Murphy started to clap. Murphy's like, you go, girl. I forgot that I made him such a jokester. I'm sorry if the clapping was loud. I'm liking this girl more and more every day. I know her. She has a better perspective of the situation than any of us, he said with a big smile on his face. If I were you, I wouldn't let that one go. Excuse me, the woman said quietly. Are you going to help us? She asked timidly. Of course, John said simply. He went to her side and looked her over with his eyes. She's pregnant, he said. What? The group was surprised. The girl was so thin you couldn't tell. She even had a stomach, much less a kid inside of her. You couldn't tell she even had a stomach. The wording's weird. Joey, I'm going to need your help with this, John continued calmly. Joey nodded and took his flute out. Remember to concentrate. Joey began to play a soothing, joyful tune that couldn't help but make you smile. The 4 survivors started to look better almost instantly. Their sunken cheeks began to fill themselves in, and their bones began to become invisible once again. So the skin on their body is getting fuller. Then John stepped in, healing one child completely, and then the next, until they were all healed. The 2 healers were exhausted after it had all been completed. Ray sighed. Roy and Daisuke, find a place to build a fire. I have a feeling we're going to be here for the rest of the night. Are you going like by Apex Legends, guys? Apex Legends. Actually, that was not. Oh, sorry. He told them. The 2 nodded and walked off. Murphy, find a place where these 2 can lay down for a while. Yuri and Alex get some food ready for them. Once again, the group did as they were told. This group gets bigger and bigger every day, Murphy said as he and Ray walked off to put the bed somewhere. He's not serious, is he? Yuri asked Ray as the 2 of them moved the packs from the horses. We can't leave them here to starve to death, Alex said, pulling the food pack out from one of the bigger packs. We'll go water the horses, one of the kids said eagerly. It was a young boy and younger than Joey. His hair was a dirty blonde and his eyes were a startling blue. I don't know, Yuri said, eyeing him with a mischievous smile across it. Are you a big enough boy to do so? She asked him. Yes, of course. I'm so big I can handle anything, he said excitedly. Yuri looked up at the other 2 children and smiled warmly at them. They were both girls and looked to be 11 or 12, and the other looked to be 10. Would you 2 like to help him? She asked. The 2 nodded shyly and helped the boy bring the horses to a stream that wasn't too far. They all had the same color hair and eyes. Are you their mother or sister? Yuri asked the older girl. She looked out to be the same age as Alex. I'm their sister. That's not how you spell there, Holly. She said, her voice so quiet that it seemed to be able to be taken away on the wind before she even had it out of her mouth. I hate her. I don't hate this version of her, but the final draft version of her is terrible. Do you have to do this every time I'm recording? Come on. Well, are you coming up? I'm going to start the story again here pretty fast if you don't get your butt up here. Come on. Come on. No? Okay, bye. Stop complaining. Wow, Yuri said, turning to Alex, who was making sandwiches for the whole group. I'm traveling with my younger brother. Brother. Wow. He's the one who played the flute for you guys. She smiled warmly, having a feeling that this small family could use some kindness for a change. Sorry, excuse me. Really? The young woman looked over at Alex and blushed. I'm Yuri said, noticing the woman staring at Alex. What's yours? Ooh, we gonna be jealous. Is she interested in the final draft? I don't remember. I'm Michelle, the woman said, not taking her eyes off of Alex. Yuri's cheek began to turn hot, and she had a strange feeling in her stomach, as though she were going to be sick, but different. She doesn't know she's jealous. Something she had never felt before. This foreign feeling worried her. That's Alex. She's like, oh, I feel sick. I feel angry. What is going on with me? Alex, Michelle said his name as though it were a treasured memory. Oh, Michelle, you're pregnant, girl. The feeling intensified inside of Yuri, and all she wanted to do was get out of there. I'm going to go check on the horses, she said suddenly instead. Wait, don't you want to help me serve lunch? Alex asked, looking at her. His look made Yuri feel all fluttery inside, making her fear she'd float away. Oh, God. How old was I? I was in high school when I wrote this. I know that much. No, Yuri said. I mean, I really want to see how the kids are, they could get lost. Before he could say anything else, Yuri was out of there and heading towards the spring. Slowly, the feeling she felt wet I forgot the end, went away, but it worried her to the core. When everyone had eaten and went about enjoying their little break from traveling, Yuri headed for the farthest tree she could find and sat to relax. Someone sat next to her. Fearing it was Alex, Yuri looked over to see Ray sitting next to her. She sighed with relief. What's wrong? Ray asked her. Yuri told him about what had happened when she had been talking to Michelle. I'm scared, Yuri admitted. I have no idea what I'm going to do. What if it's something really serious? Ray's like, oh my God. Girl, listen. Yuri, have you ever thought of guys as something other than friends? He asked her. No. Why? She asked, a little upset that he found the situation funny. Like, why are you laughing at me? Rude. I might be dying, and you think it's funny. Well, you like Alex, and that's all there is to it, he told her. What? No. Yuri was shocked to hear the news. How can you tell? I didn't even know I liked him. You did. You just didn't want to think of him as more than a friend. But those feelings you felt is called jealousy, and your true feelings for Alex coming out. Ray told her truthfully. I mean, you don't have to be jealous to like someone, though. I mean, I don't get jealous when girls talk to my husband. I don't know. This was before I ever had a serious relationship, so. But why would I be jealous? I have no reason to be jealous, Yuri said. Her palms were beginning to sweat, and she started to talk fast. You were jealous because Michelle showed interest in Alex. It made you feel as though she was attacking you, I guess, Ray said. His eyes were closed, and his head was up against the tree they both sat at. Yuri said, well, I hate it. Don't want to be in love with anyone, she said bitterly. Why shouldn't Michelle like him? And what right do I have of being jealous? If they both want to be together, then let it be so. Her cheeks were beginning to burn again. You don't really mean that, Yuri. Besides, you shouldn't hide from him if you like him. Eventually he'll think you're mad at him. Ray said, his eyes opened. Like right now, for instance. He's coming over to talk to you. Are you going to run or face him? I'm going to go see how John and Joey are doing. Yuri stood and walked off as quickly as she could without looking like she was running away. Coward! What's wrong with Alex? What's wrong with her? Alex asked as he approached Ray. She's been acting strangely all day. Ray smiled with his eyes closed no more. The mind of a woman is truly strange. I doubt anyone will understand what's going through her head, he said. Alex looked disappointed. She's going to go check on John and Joey. Thanks. Alex walked off to go find her. Michelle came over She had been following Alex up until she spotted Ray. You shouldn't try to interfere. I fear it's too late for them to choose anyone else to be with, Ray said to her. How did you know it was me? Michelle asked. The way you approached. Everyone in my group walks with confidence, even Yuri. And you walk as though something will bite you if you don't keep an eye on everything around you, he said, his eyes still closed. Michelle sighed and sat down next to him. All of the men in your group are so good looking. It's so nerve-wracking. How does Yuri do it? She isn't one to think of men as possible husbands all the time. Plus, she isn't exactly one to show her emotions to those around her. That's why she runs from Alex. She's afraid of her feelings, Ray said to the young woman. To the stranger, that could kill you. But not in this version. Why don't I teach you a way to relax? He asked after a moment of silence. Chapter 19. Why the town is empty. God. This is where the rough draft and final draft are so different. It's crazy. Like, yeah, they do end up meeting Michelle and her 3 siblings. And, you know, they're sick and they're starving, but Michelle's a completely different person in the final draft. In the rough draft. And I don't know if Yuri runs from Alex in the final. Because I flip-flopped it to where Alex was afraid of the feelings instead of Yuri being afraid of the feelings. Or something like that. Yuri thinks Alex is a pervert in the final. Is where I went with that one. Anyway, enough rambling, enough sidetracking. I'm gonna go. We'll do chapter 19 next time. And as always, if you're interested in this book, or at least in the final draft, I will have in the description below a link to the website you can go to buy this book. But yeah. Anyway, hopefully I will see you guys next time. Bye.